Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today in a rather late episode once again. Well, I say once again, you know, it's not like it's happening every time, but, you know, I'd say once every like 2 weeks or something we have like a classic 11 p.m. sort of episode, because I was mainly busy for most of this evening, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. We're here now, and that's what matters. So what we can talk about? I don't really know. Someone in the Discord has posted a fact that there's a Talos Principle 2 coming out, which is very exciting. I did thoroughly enjoy Talos Principle 1. So, you know, if you haven't seen it, I guess go watch that playthrough, or not, you know, I'm not a boss of you. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 11:34 p.m. on Thursday, May 25th, 2023. You know, we had Flick saying, you know, you chatting mad rubbish, you know, about you. You might want to go sort him out before, you know, he spreads any rumors. I don't know why I'm going with this. Yeah, which is pretty cool. I didn't even know it was announced, but I guess that's kind of because the death of like these not multimedia shows. What are they called? Like these expo shows, you know, things like E3 or whatever. They don't really exist anymore. I don't know if a convention still exists, which is a bit of a shame. You know, I've never been to one in my lifetime, obviously, because they kind of like took place in America every single year. But it's kind of sad that they're gone, isn't it? At least that's what I think. I feel like it's very sort of nostalgic, you know, waking up, you know, oh, you know, be like, let's tune into E3 today. Who's presenting today? Oh, it's Nintendo. I wonder what sort of games they're going to announce today. I don't have anything against the fact that all the companies have basically made their own sort of like exposition panel sort of thing to display whatever games you want. Well, not what you want, but whatever games they want. It just, I don't know, it just sort of feels like it's not the same. It's not the same having it all aggregated together at once, which is weird to say because it's sort of like strictly it's better, I suppose, to have them spread out throughout the year, because then, you know, it's like little and often, you know, they can do it when they're ready, you know, then they can actually make a big announcement rather than having rushed announcements, or, you know, having to hold it off until like next year rolls around for a big announcement once again. You know, the companies, I suppose, themselves can decide when are the best times to announce things. So it's not like it's that bad from a consumer's standpoint. Well, yeah, again, I don't know all the repercussions of it, so maybe that's not really for me to say, but it doesn't seem that bad on the whole. It just, I miss those moments, you know. I miss those moments of like watching E3 with my friends or whatever, you know, posting things in chat, being like, whoa, do you see this? This is the craziest thing that's happened. And it was just fantastic. Like, was New Horizons announced? Was that announced at an E3? I can't remember. I think it might have been, or it might have been a Nintendo showcase or something. I feel like it was E3, but I always think that. Hold on, I should check. Let's see. New Horizons announcement. Yeah, it was announced at E3 2019 via the Nintendo Direct. Yeah, I remember watching out with my friends, you know, and remember, I think I tell the story like every single time, but, you know, if you haven't seen the initial announcement, it had a fake out where basically it showed Isabelle in the town hall, and everyone was like, ooh, is this Animal Crossing? And then it turns out that it was her invitation to Smash, which was also super exciting. But I was so hyped in the call. Well, as hyped as I get, you know what I mean? Like, my hype is like, ooh, rather than, you know, and or anything like that. I was just like, no way. I was like, no way is this Animal Crossing. It's been so long. And then, you know, she got a letter, and I was like, okay, this is like really cool and exciting as well. But, you know, I really wanted it to be an Animal Crossing. And then boom, cut to Tom Nook, just like chilling there, and then he just drops the announcements for Animal Crossing just like that. It's one of, you know, Nintendo do very well at doing those sort of fake out announcements, I think. So I think Animal Crossing ones is one I'm going to remember for the rest of my time. Like, on this earth, I don't know. Like, rest of my time, full stop. It was a very ambiguous or ominous sentence, I would say. But yeah, it's something which certainly sticks in my memory, and, you know, if you're as hyped as I was about Animal Crossing, then perhaps it would stick in your memory too. And I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Who am I to judge? Yeah, what was I going to say about this? I don't really remember. Yeah, Nintendo in general have done a pretty good job of these sort of like fake out announcements, right? Like they did it with the announcement of King K. Rool in Smash, right? And then it was like, oh, it's DDD, and then he was like, rah, 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 rah. And then we did it again with someone else, but I don't remember. No, with Duck Hunt. Oh yeah, it was like, oh, is it Banjo-Kazooie? And Banjo-Kazooie, and it's not. It was Duck Hunt, and it was like, what? We did it twice, which is, you know, fantastic. There's also the one where like Luigi just like died immediately at the start of the announcement or something, right? I feel like it came to mind. Anyway, we sort of like oh gosh, fake out announcements. I'm not really sure where I stand on them, to be perfectly honest. Like, I feel like when we're done well, it's like, whoa, you know, that's super memorable, you know. But they have to be done well, because when we sort of like prank announcement things aren't done well, but it's just, they honestly like are significantly worse than just like a normal announcement, right? Because part of me, you know, but mainly me, I'm just like, you know, why bother with like these fake out announcements? You know, I just want to know the news. You don't have to put all this like dressing around it. But then, you know, the other part of me is just like, oh, just have a bit of fun, lighten up, you know. Well, what's the point of these sort of things if you can't have a little bit of fun with it in the first place, right? And sometimes, yeah, obviously they do it well. Like, as I said, Nintendo with Animal Crossing ones. I guess the fake outs sort of work best when the thing which is being faked out is even better, I suppose, than the initial assumption, right? Like, that's why those ones work pretty well, because, you know, fake out was like, oh, it's actually is King K. Rool being added to Smash, or I should say equal or better than the actual expected. Is that, oh, King K. Rool is being added to Smash? Okay, that's expectation. Fake out, no, it's not. It was just King DDD, and he's now mocking you and laughing at you. Then boom, fake out is a double fake out, I suppose. Once again, King K. Rool is actually being added to Smash, and you know you can use the same formula for Banjo-Kazooie. Animal Crossing, it was like, ooh, is it Animal Crossing? Oh, fake out, it was actually Isabelle being added to Smash. Ooh, even better, it is an Animal Crossing and Isabelle's being added to Smash. It's like, whoa, you know, it's even better than it can be. I'm trying to think of a time where, like, where fake outs, like, fall back in my place, but I don't tend to really remember these sort of, like, dramatic moments in, like, history, like, you know, not dramatic as in, like, theatrically dramatic, but more like, you know, drama, that sort of dramatic. I don't really tend to, like, remember much. Like, the only one I can remember is, like, Blizzard, like, announcing, like, hyping up Diablo stuff, and everyone was like, oh, is it Diablo, or was it 3 or 4 at the time that people were like anticipating? It was like, well, you know, it's not been like much. And I think it was Diablo 4. It must be, because Diablo 3 came out when I was like in secondary school, right? I was like, whoa, there's a new Diablo announcement. You know, it's going to be so hype. It's going to be awesome. People love that game series. And it was like, whoa, is Diablo like immortal or whatever? And it was like, it just turns out it was like on your mobile phone, and you know. It's a bold move, I would say, trying to pitch a mobile game. I think to, you know, I feel like a video game audience feels, you know, of like consoles and PCs, it feels rather distinct from a mobile gaming audience, which, by the way, is not so too much anymore. I think, especially with Generation Z, you know, a lot of these more popular games, things like Fortnite, you know, Genshin, I suppose, as well. A lot of these games are relatively popular, and they, you know, are on the phone as well as, you know, on a computer stuff. Mobile gaming is, I'm not going to say it's taking over the gaming space by storm, but, you know, it's very much establishing itself as its own thing, and the boundary between the exclusionary boundary between like console and, you know, PC gaming versus mobile gaming is, you know, slowly breaking, where people don't really care about it anymore. I'd say at least that's the sort of vibe I get from, you know, younger gaming generations, and I don't know how it is in older gaming generations necessarily, but maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe it's a bit too judgmental for me to really decide on that avenue. But still, where are they going with this? Yeah, fake out announcements. Like, I don't really know if that counts as a fake out announcement. I'm not even sure if they were faking out anything. It was just sort of like, it was an announcement. It just was an announcement, and then it just sucked. Or, I mean, I guess it's a good thing I wasn't a Diablo fan or anything. Otherwise, I would be sorely disappointed. But yeah, I can't really think of any other big ones off the top of my head. Let's see. Fake out announcement. Breakout versus Fake Out. What? Splatoon 3 with a great Fake Out intro. Splatoon 3 wasn't announced? Designed to confuse us. I don't remember. Was it a Splatoon 3? Oh, wait, but there's a few... you know, the one I always... You know, Nintendo... Maybe Nintendo's are just ones I remember, because Nintendo's are ones I've watched, but Nintendo did a fantastic one as well with the announcement of Smash Bros. Ultimate, didn't it? It looked like it was a Splatoon trailer or something, you know. It's like, whoa, Splatoon gameplay, and it was really weird, because in fact, direct already, we had Splatoon news already. We already knew there was like a Splatoon 2 DLC coming out or something. And then it was just more Splatoon. It was like, oh, maybe it's going to be like a Splatoon event or something. At least that's what I was thinking. And then suddenly, you know, the entire place, you know, it was like a monochrome white before is now faded to a monochrome black. You know, the Inkling's all alone, and, you know, she turns around and she sees the Smash logo burning in her pupil, and it's like, whoa. That was also a hype moment. I don't remember the Splatoon 3 announcement, and I'm going to have to look it up to refresh my memory. Splatoon 3 is already out now, isn't it? And now in Splatfest there's 3 teams, isn't there, rather than 2. Splatoon 3 announcement. And actually, Rainbow, what does that even mean? Okay, mute this before it plays. Was it a fake out? I don't even remember. What is this? It looks like, you know, Splatoon gear up or something on a train. Is this much of a fake out? I don't really know. The squid eyes of a logo make a free shape. Oh, they do, you know. Character creation menu. It is a cool character creation menu. As you remove details from the character to pick stuff. That is very creative, actually, you know. Like, I didn't know if that was a thing, you know. Take off the eyeglasses and then you can pick with pupil colour. Take off a hood and then you can pick hairstyle. That is creative, you know. Never let it be said that Nintendo aren't very creative, I suppose, as developers. It just, if only they weren't so behind the times with other things like online play, etc., etc. And, you know, like legacy things. Like, and I know recently one of the Nintendo like shops, I can't remember which one, Wii U shop maybe, closed down or whatever. And, you know, Nintendo's notoriously bad at giving you access to their old games, I suppose, and that sort of thing. And now they're like cracking down on like the illegal means, I suppose, of obtaining them, which I can't really fault them for, you know, cracking down on things like emulators and ROMs or anything like that. Makes sense. They at the end of the day, they are illegal. I'm not defending them in that sense, but it's also like, come on, Nintendo, if you just like made an avenue for it to be possible to actually get these things in the first place, you would be making even more money. But maybe that's kind of a point. They want to sort of drip feed. Also, Celeste is here. Hello. Anyway, fake out announcement. Fake out. But what does breakout and fake out mean? Oh, it's a crypto stock market. Fake out, fade out. Actually, you know, this reminds me of another one. And it's actually the Simpsons movie, because the first Simpsons movie, I can't remember the plot really. What happens? Isn't it like Homer gets a pig, and then he creates like what's the word, like not like a nuclear meltdown, but like a contamination. He turns like Springfield into an absolute contamination zone, such that a dome gets put on them, and then it's basically his journey to, I can't remember, break the dome or something. He gets a motorbike at some point. That's all I remember. I think he was on the run as well. That comes to mind. But I remember at one point during the movie, he gets like stranded on like an iceberg, and then like he's slowly floating away, and then like the screen fades to black, and it's like, whoa, to be continued. And it goes right now. For some reason, I also feel like I remember watching this movie with my mother, who I don't even know she knows much about Simpsons. Even I don't really know much about Simpsons. I don't really know why I went to watch it. Anyway, for a long time I had pajamas that was from the Simpsons movie. I had like Bart, you know, when he was like doing the skateboard thing on the back of my pajamas. Why? I don't know. I'm not even like that big a Simpsons fan. I'm not even that much of a Simpsons fan. Like I guess it's fine or anything, but it's just that's all I remember. Let's see. Video games fake out. There's a whole TV tropes things on it. TV tropes are absolute saviour of conversations. Fake out, fade out. Let's see. Let's scroll down till I see a game I know. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, really? In the reveal of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the trailer packed out right after Wario's mishap. And then the codec alert popped up. They did something similar with fourth game's reveal. Clip showed villagers and newcomer. The title was shown as 2014. Release date was revealed as the image gradually faded out. New challenger approaching pops up by a klaxon, cutting to Mario, Link, Donkey Kong, and Kirby, looking up at a short blue robot standing on a cliff. I don't remember that, but you know, Nintendo here, Rhythm Heaven Fever, at the end of Remix 10 twice. Apparently, it was 2 fake outs in that. That seems reasonable. Well, not reasonable, but that sounds like something it would do. Sonic and the Black Knight. This was a game? Man, Sonic had some weird games, hey? Okay, I haven't actually played most of these games, so, you know, because there's not really much for me to say. Fake out, make out? Pardon me? Okay, sure. Stop and go. Fake out announcement. I don't know, I can only really think of his Nintendo ones, to be honest. You know what, screw Google. You're not giving me any more of what a conversationally desire. Why do Nintendo do so many fake out ones? I guess, you know, maybe they get like better press. Maybe Nintendo have like such a reputation preceding them in the first place that they've built enough trust that people are like willing to buy into, I suppose, the fake out part. Or maybe it's just the fact that Nintendo, you know, their fake outs aren't all about like big fake outs. I mean, I guess they are fake outs, but again, with any sort of good prank, you know, the victims, I suppose, at the end need to be able to appreciate it at the same time. They don't need to like necessarily. I guess really, like, I'm not really into pranks or anything like that, but at the end of the day, I feel like the victims of a prank need to at least be able to, you know, not hate the prank afterwards. They need, at a very minimum, they should feel neutral about it, I think. But I guess that's the thing with Nintendo's and all their fake out announcements is that, as I say, they are always better, equal or better in the end, I suppose. You know, they don't leave you in suspense for too long. They don't actually, you know, be like, oh, this would have been a cool thing to do, and then not actually do, oh, you know, the one that always comes to mind, not always comes to mind, the one that came to mind, it obviously doesn't always come to mind. I would have started with this one, but wasn't it in one of the Super Bowls? It was like recently the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants tragically passed away, like maybe like a month or a couple of weeks earlier. Then like there's some memes perpetuating, being like, hey, let's get what's the song called, Goofy Goober or whatever, playing out the Super Bowl, because, you know, it's a big event, and then, you know, the memes caught on, and then they played like the first few seconds of Goofy Goober, and then immediately cut away to like whoever was the performer at the time. Like I did not see. I've not seen as much backlash on over the internet. Like, I think all the social media sites were united as one in that moment, where people were just like, I can't believe you've done this. People were genuinely very upset, which is dramatic, I would say, to a certain degree. Like, excuse me, just coughing. Like, it's the sort of thing where I'm like, I get it, but also it seems a little dramatic to be like insanely upset about it. But I guess it's also unfair for me to necessarily comment on it. It's not like SpongeBob had as big an effect, I suppose, on my life compared to, you know, other people's. And it just, I will say, it does seem in poor taste. You know, you either, you know, do it, you know, you go the whole full like what's the phrase, 10 yards or whatever, you go the full way and you actually commit to it, or you just like don't do it in the first place and you just pretend you never saw it in the first place, right? Because you pretend you never saw it in the first place. It's sort of like the bare minimum. That's what people expect from these sort of things. And they don't actually genuinely expect anything to happen from them. And then actually doing it is just like way surpassing expectations. But then like only sort of doing it and then like pulling the rug out from underneath you is just like even worse than the actual possibility in the end, isn't it? I don't know. Those are just my thoughts, you know. Would love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. Fake out announcement. I guess that's a conversation for today. But I'm going to round this episode off here, I think, because I think I sort of conversationally have run that course. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again. But for now, it's our farewells. Until next time. Bye-bye for now.